Wow. Life of Chuck, starring Tom Hiddleston, Mark Hamill, Karen Gillan, is an amazing, amazing film. But could it be one of the best films to come out this year? And is it going to make you cry watching it? Let's talk about it. Hello, welcome back to the AJ Review Show, episode 21, Life of Chuck, an hour and 51 minutes long. I got to watch this early yesterday at an Odeon special screening because I'm a special member. I'm a special boy, as my mother says. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Mike Flanagan directed it, who also did The Haunting of Hill House and Doctor Sleep. He was also in the film as one of the mourners. So, what the film is about is a guy called Charles Chuck Krantz and the experiences of his world and living. Throughout the film, you meet all these sort of interesting characters, you learn a few lessons, but really, there is something else going on in this film. Tom Hiddleston is old Chuck, you know him from The Night Manager and Loki. Really good, but the film splits between so many different people, which I'm about to list, that you don't spend all your time on Tom Hiddleston like I was expecting. You also have Mark Hamill, you know from Star Wars and voiced a joke in a lot of animated DC projects. Karen Gillan, you know from Jumanji and Doctor Who. She's really good in the film. She has a romance with Ncuti Ejiofor, who has also been in Doctor Strange and 12 Years a Slave. Their romance together is absolutely amazing on screen. You also have Benjamin Payak and Jacob Tremblay, who both play younger versions of Chuck at different times in his life. Narrated by Nick Offerman. Without him, the film really isn't the same. His narration is absolutely key, and without him, the film would be much worse, honestly. His narration is really funny and just plays perfectly alongside this film. You also have Mia Sara, Michael Trucco, Carl Lumbly from Captain America: Brave New World, David Dastmalchian, I think I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm probably not, from Prisoners, Matthew Lillard is Shaggy from the old Scooby-Doo films, and Kate Siegel, who is the wife of Mike Flanagan, who directed it. I'm not going over anyone else. Casting's really good. It jumps between everyone a lot. You get plenty of story with everyone, so when it jumps around, you don't feel like anything's getting left behind. But it does jump around a lot, so no one has the centre stage for the whole film. For some reason, I had oddly high hopes going into this. I just had a feeling that I was really going to enjoy it, and I'm glad that the feeling paid off. This is a film for people who love an experience, who love cinema, and can appreciate real film craft. I think the film is daring, it's subtle yet beautiful, and in today's market, that is a hell of a risk. It does not have humongous explosions, CGI, drugs, violence, sex scenes, anything like that. It is subtle and it's beautiful, and I think it's really playing against Hollywood's rulebook for trying to be monetarily successful. For this is a love letter to movies and to life. It explores so much more than you just see on the screen. It makes you think. There's a lot of metaphor in there. And I think it's going to go over a lot of people's heads, but the people that enjoy it, I think, are really going to love it. The film also really heavily reminds me of, like, Big Fish, Forrest Gump, and La La Land, so make of that what you will. However, because the film is so daring and original and different, I would say, that it is going to go over possibly too many people's heads, and it might not do that well at the box office. It toes a very fine line between pretentious and actually great. And I think some people think it's too pretentious and there's not enough substance within the film. And I did unfortunately see this even in my own screen. There were people that looked bored or lost. If the film hasn't got you within the first dance sequence, so there are two main dance sequences in the film. If by the end of the first one, the film hasn't got you, I think the film's probably going to go over your head, because it is simple, but it wants to play into how nice it looks, the music, the choreography. It's a simple film, but it's a very pretty and emotional film. And that is one of two issues I have with the film. The other one is that the film's plot is actually very simple. And without its clever telling and narration from Nick Offerman, it isn't particularly interesting. If it was told chronologically from start to end, this film would be boring. So really, it's a very good thing that the film is told in chapters and told in reverse order, because it keeps you on your toes. It jumps between different storylines and characters and events, and ultimately does walk towards a good final act and kind of a reveal. It's also adapted from a Stephen King book, so you know there's something going to be waiting for you at the end. I really love that in a couple of films that have been released recently, i.e. this and Weapons, they have used a different structure to tell their story. I feel like it keeps you more engaged, and if you're trying to build mystery, it really helps that. This kind of structure also makes the pacing very easy to follow, and you know what's going on at times. I would say that it's slightly slow at points, but it picks up. It's slow because it's telling a story, and it's showing you a story. It's not, although there's narration, there's not too much exposition. It's showing you the story instead of telling you. And like I said, that's really part of the beauty and the wonder of the film. The cast throughout the whole film I thought were really good. The two very young actors who played the young Chuck, both good. I wish it spent slightly less time with them and we got more time with Tom Hiddleston, but that's because I'm just a big fan of Tom Hiddleston. I just think it would have been more interesting to see the effect of his life on him as opposed to the build up to it. I just would have liked some more of that. There is one bad bit of casting. There was a male nurse that works alongside Karen Gillan's character, Felicia. He was just wooden as hell. But if you ignore him, the cast on the whole are really, really good. And the effort they've put in to learn the choreography and everything like that is just, it's there and it's just so enjoyable to watch. Music and choreography, or dance as the kids call it, are arguably the most important proponents of this film. There is so much rhythm in the film that I genuinely could barely keep still. In fact, I didn't keep still. I was tapping my toe, I was, wriggling in the seat. I was having a jolly good time watching it. There is like a constant piano through it, some really great picks of music. The dance scenes, honestly, it just makes you want to get up and dance. It really reminded me of La La Land at times because it's just so musically involved, kind of like Baby Drivers, where everything's just in time to the music. The music complements the script, which is also very good. It's just a very creative work. But all this without its very warm cinematography wouldn't work. The music doesn't work as well unless the shots complement it, and it works wonderfully. Such warm cinematography, lovely up-close personal shots. There is one particular scene with Tom Hiddleston's Chuck where he stood underneath this big El Dorado sign. It's just amazing. And it's honestly one of the best shots I've ever seen. This really is a love letter to cinema for people who love cinema, who love films, and just want to enjoy watching something without the need for huge CGI fights, no Godzillas, no drugs. It's just a real bare bones, simple, beautiful, effective film with a really good cast, a strong but not completely evolved story. It's not really deep, it's just simple. It's just a very nice film with a lot of meaning. I think the film overall wants you to reflect on your own life. It wants you to think deeply about the things you're doing. I think it's one of the films that you're supposed to discuss afterwards. You're not supposed to come out and go, yeah, that was good, I enjoyed that. You're supposed to talk to the people around you. I think it's supposed to give you a reminder that you're actually alive. You're living. You can do things. You can go and see people. You can dance. You can love. You can live. Love, live, laugh. Not usually something I would say, but that is kind of the point of the film. Something is beautiful because it's beautiful. There's a scene where Chuck is trying to figure out why he'd done this specific dance, but he says something along the lines of, would it actually make it any better if I knew why I'd done it, or is it just great because I've done it? Things can just be good because they are good. You don't have to know the reason. You don't have to think about it 1,000 times over. This film is just celebrating life and love and music and culture in an amazing way. And that is why I'm giving this film 4 stars. I could see it as a 5. I could also see it as like a 2 or a 3, which is actually very odd. But like I said, if the film goes over your head and you don't like the structure, you're not going to love this film because the story is simple. But if you can get into the vibe of the film, I think you're honestly really going to enjoy it. And that is Life of Chuck. Well, thank you so much for watching another episode of the AJ Review Show. That's been episode 21. Crazy that we're here. I am loving watching these. I'm so glad I got to watch this early. I really recommend this. Just relax, take a deep breath, maybe take a nice relaxing snack with you, and just let yourself be engulfed by a film. This is really a great film. I could see a lot of couples watching it. It's quite a family film, like I said, Big Fish, La La Land, Forrest Gump, Baby Driver, kind of a mixture of all of those. I really like what they had to say with this film, and I honestly think you will too. And that has been the AJ Review Show, episode 21. Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed watching that episode. If you could just drop me a subscribe down below, leave a like and a comment, that'd be really helpful. You can now find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Letterboxd, all at AJ Reviews 101. And click to watch this video up here that YouTube recommended. Enjoy.